Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be my top picks for special occasions. So I was gonna do this video around New Year's and I ran out of time, but my 40th birthday party is coming and I don't have a scent. So I was going to film my Are They Full Bottle Worthy video, my part 2, but I decided to switch it up because I don't know what I'm going to wear. So I went through my collection and I picked up fragrances that I have worn to different events. So I'm not gonna wear them for my 40th because I like to create memories. All of these perfumes, but 3 that I'm going to mention, possibly 4, are perfumes that I've worn to various events. And I'm gonna go over the perfume very quickly, let you guys know what I would wear them to or what I've worn them to. And then I'm gonna go over 3 that I'm going back and forth that I'm gonna test out this week in hopes to find my 40th birthday party fragrance. Now, I do have one coming in the mail that I'm hoping that editing Becky will come back in here and go over with you guys. It's actually a perfume that you guys recommended to me in my first Are They Full Bottle Worthy fragrance video. I want to say like 3 or 4 of you guys mentioned this perfume. So I have that one coming in the mail. I actually paid for expedited shipping. I wasn't gonna blind buy it. I went ahead and picked up travel. I figured I can test it out a little bit before, and if I love it, I can just use the travel and even pop it in my bag and take it with me. And then I'll let you guys also know if it's full bottle worthy. So we have about 10-ish, 11, depending. I don't know yet. One is a perfume that I'm thinking of maybe layering. So with one that I love, but I've already worn to an event. But anyways, we have a lot to go over. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the more elegant, maybe little black dress or maybe like a work event fragrances, and then we'll get more into like the fun fragrances. The first one I'm going to go over to me is the strongest of the bunch. So when narrowing down my list, it was something that I've worn out to an event. It's one that I found to be kind of mass appealing, whether it got me a compliment or it's just a likable scent, as well as it performed. All of these perfumes are going to take you through your event. So I just kind of want to point that out because there are definitely more perfumes in my collection that could have gone into this list. So first we have Maison Lancome's Oud Bouquet. And I will say that this is probably the loudest of the bunch, but still kind of elegant and expensive smelling. This is a sweet oudy rose. It's got praline, oud, rose. So I wore this one to a Christmas party. I was going to a fancy house and I was going to be around fancy people. This one to me is also one you want to wear when it's cold outside. So it was cold that year. I didn't wear it this Christmas that just passed. It was the year before that. It was a cold Christmas. I wore like a heavy sweater. I knew I was going to be around people that like attention, so I wanted attention, and this perfume to me is pretty loud. It's rich. It's got, again, this presence about it. Like, this is a perfume that enters a room before you do. It projects very well, and that's honestly why I wore it. But this is one that I would say if you're going to an expensive party or an expensive event, this is the one I would recommend. And again, that is Maison Lancome's Oud Bouquet. Next, we have Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid. And this is another one that I would wear maybe like a little black dress event. But this opens up boozy and sweet from the honey. And then as it dries down, you get a lot of the different florals. But I don't really get any kind of, I mean, I do get the jasmine that's in here, but there are other florals going on in here. This is a modern take on a floral scent. Again, it has honey and rum, so you don't see too many of your old school florals with like a boozy opening. And then it has like, I think it's myrrh. It has like spices in the base. It has woodsy notes. There's sandalwood, so there is something creamy about this one. And then suede that I've always said kind of rounds and smooth this scent out. White florals and just florals in general can come off a little vintage or old school if they're predominant in a fragrance. And this is one that, even though it's predominant, it's just done very well. And I wore this one to my dad's dinner party, which was a little more casual, but that just goes to show you that you can wear fragrances whenever you want. So I did wear this one to my dad's house, and it was just us having dinner, and my sister actually complimented me on this one. But it is one that I would say if you're gonna go to like a little black dress or a black tie event, this is a good one, especially if you enjoy florals. And again, that is Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid. Okay, and the next I'm going to talk about these hand in hand, just because I think these are great if you're, again, a little black dress or like maybe a work event. I think this is another nice modern floral fragrance, and that is Libre by Yves Saint Laurent. And we have the original and the intense. So I do have a review. Well, I'll try to link reviews on all of these, but I do have a more in-depth review on these two. So if you want to know a little bit more about the fragrance itself, but this is your kind of edgy white floral lavender scent. I have always said that this smells like money. And I've seen recently people ask, what does that mean? What does that smell like? It smells expensive. That's what that means. Like, this reminds me of an expensive mall here in Florida. And when I walk into that mall, I'm hit with expensive store smells. These stores, they have something going on in the vents, and that's what this smells like. It smells like money. So this one, I will say, a lot of people say it smells masculine. I always say that this kind of has an edginess to it. The lavender does give this one kind of a sharp edginess. So if you don't like that, you might like the intense. It still has the leaf DNA, but there's an added tonka bean note and a little more vanilla. I think both of these are intense. These are both amazing performing perfumes, and this one has vanilla as well. I would just say this one leans a little more lavender and a little more citrus, and this one leans a little bit more vanilla and tonka bean, and it's a little more warm and a tad sweeter. But I do get the vanilla in this one, especially after having the fragrance for some time. The vanilla does get stronger in this one, but again, this one's a little more smoothed out. It's not as sharp and edgy. The lavender, I still get it, but it's more prominent in the original. I would wear this one and have worn this one to, can't remember which one I wore, but I wore one to like a holiday Christmas party at work. I think these are great fragrances if you're going to be around coworkers. They're nice white florals. Again, modern, like Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid. They don't smell anything alike. So I'm just saying it's that modern floral fragrance. And again, that is Libre, the original, and the intense. I would say if you're going to a wedding, or you're gonna be the bride, or a white party, this scent. This is Nuda Veritas by Atelier d'Ors, and I wore this on my 10-year anniversary, and it was a white party. It was supposed to be a white party, but some people were like, I don't want to wear white, so we turned it into a black and white party. But where Dennis finds certain fragrances to be a certain color, like when I'm gonna go over, when I smell this, I think of white. This just reminds me of the color white. It's very clean, white floral, fresh, and just a white scent. This is an expensive party on a yacht. This is a white party, an anniversary party, or a bridal scent. That's what this scent reminds me of. This is one that I would say, if you're going to wear white, this is the scent. I know that sounds weird, but that's when I wore this, and that's when I would recommend it. And again, that's Nuda Veritas by Atelier d'Ors. Okay, now we're getting into our fun fragrances. These are fragrances that I wore to 2 different New Year's parties. Not that I went to 2 different parties, but I wore one 2019 going into 2020, and then the other one 2020 going into 2021. So first up in that category is Mon Paris by Yves Saint Laurent, and this is in the limited edition star bottle, but it's the same fragrance. And this, when I first got this fragrance, oh my goodness, this is a boozy, fruity floral. And when I first got it, I'm like, I missed out on getting Misty or Cherie, and this to me was the closest I could get to it. I'm not saying it smelled exactly, they fall in the same scent family, but it was the closest I felt I could get to that fragrance. And this is the fragrance that Dennis says smells like purple. So I wore this to one of my, again, New Year's parties. And this was one that not only lasted till the next day, but Dennis asked me what I was wearing, and 2 of his friends had complimented me on my fragrance. So this is one that I think men like. And I would say this is more for that. It's more, I would say, for like a New Year's party or like a birthday party, something where there's going to be dancing, and it's not a overly serious fragrance is what I'm saying, like some of the other ones I've talked about. This one's more fun and let your hair down kind of scent. By the end of the night, I was singing karaoke, and I can't sing. So definitely a more fun and flirty kind of scent. It's got like a boozy wine opening, but this is a fruity floral all the way. And it's one of my favorite perfumes. Again, I know this is very basic to a lot of people. I prefer to say this is a very mass appealing scent. It's very easy, and again, a compliment getter. I love this one. So this is one that I would recommend for like New Year's or a birthday party, just something where you're going to be having fun and no one's going to be taking you seriously. And again, that is Mon Paris by Yves Saint Laurent. All right, and then another kind of New Year's Eve, again, party kind of fragrance is Señorita Miel by Fragranza. And this is an inspiration to Miss Dior's Shetty. Now, this definitely smells closer to Shetty than Mon Paris. This is one that was gifted to me by my girl MJ. And I knew right away, as soon as I smelled it, that this was an inspiration to Miss Dior. Now, this one has a lot more going on to it. I would say Mon Paris, although it's boozy, this one is more intoxicating. This is louder, it's more fruity. This one has, I think it's pineapple and just a ton of like fruity notes, but I've always said that this one is very blended. I can't pick up the notes, but the fruits in here are a little bit more like exotic fruits. It's a little more dense than I would say Mon Paris. Mon Paris is more, and I don't want to say it's watery. This was just a little thicker, I would say. There is a popcorn note and caramel, so maybe that's what's making this one a little bit more thicker, but I don't want you to think syrupy. It's just like if you drank fruit juice and then Goya makes fruit juice, but it's like a thicker fruit juice. My Spanish people know what I'm talking about. It's a different kind of like fruit juice. Like, I can't even describe it, but that's what this is. This is a little bit of a thicker kind of fruitiness, but without being like jammy. This is one I would say New Year's or a birthday party. It's probably one I would have worn if I didn't wear it last year on New Year's. If you missed out on Miss Dior's Shetty, definitely check out Señorita Miel by Fragranza. Okay, and then this last one before we get into the 3-ish, 4 that I'm thinking about wearing. This is my most versatile scent in my opinion. This is one you can wear to an expensive event as well as a more laid back party or like New Year's party, and that is Delina by Parfum de Mali. If you guys have been watching this channel, you already know this scent has my heart. So we're just gonna spray on this side because I already have a scent on. Oh, yeah. What makes this one to me versatile is that it's very blended and smells expensive, but without being too serious or overly floral like some of these other ones. This is a very rose-centric scent, but I would say it's tart. It's got this kind of greenness to it. It's got incense in here that makes it kind of spicy. So, you know, it's one that you can wear out to an event that's a little bit more expensive. I have worn this one. I wore this one to a formal wedding. I also wore this one to a party. This is one that I've worn to multiple events. I find this one to be a more versatile fragrance than some of these other ones. So this is one that I would wear to my 40th, but again, I've worn it to so many other events. I don't want to, but I saw someone say that they layer this with Baccarat Rouge 540, and while I don't have that, I do have Navitus Parfums Absolutio. So I am gonna test that combo out this week. Ooh. Ooh. That is definitely a contender. Oh yeah. Whoever, I can't remember where I saw it. It wasn't on my video. It was under someone else's video when I was looking up the perfume that I have coming my way. Someone said that they layer these together. Not these. They layer this with Baccarat Rouge 540, but this combo, yeah, it really, it created another Delina. Yeah, I'm gonna be testing this out, but this is something I'm possibly thinking of wearing for my 40th, just because I love this perfume and I love this one. So that's one. So falling in line with Delina, one perfume that I'm gonna test out that I was possibly thinking of wearing on my 40th is Athalia. This is your powdery iris scent. It's a little cold, a little bitchy, but I don't know. I love it. I've worn this out. Like the ones I'm going to talk about, I've tested out, or I've worn out like to dinner with Dennis, but I haven't worn them to any kind of special event yet. But this is a special event kind of fragrance. I would say like another kind of little black dress event, or maybe a work party, something a little serious about this scent, kind of like Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid and Leaf. There's something a little more put together, while some of the other ones are more fun. This, you're mature, in my opinion. So I am going to test this one out. I actually have this one on today, so I guess I should just refresh. This is powdery, this is iris, but not like overly makeup. There is a touch of sweetness to this one in the dry down. It's sophisticated, elegant, and I could almost imagine you're wearing a black dress when you have this on. So this is one that I'm thinking of wearing, but I don't know yet. Okay, and then next we have Tom Ford's Noir. I haven't worn this one out yet, like to an event. I don't know, like, it's good. It is. But is it good enough? This one is a spicy vanilla. Maybe if I layer, maybe I'll create a scent. But this is a sexy, spicy vanilla scent. There's coffee in here, vanilla. There is ginger, so it's got like a zesty opening. But this is another one that, yeah, it might, I mean, it's good. This is another kind of runner-up that I'm going to test out this week. Okay, and then another contender. We have the new C Intense. I recently did a review on the entire C range. If you guys watched that video, you know that this is pretty much right up there, almost a top for me. It's second to last. My favorite, well, I'll have my video link down below. You have to watch to see which one's my favorite. But my favorite, I've worn to one of our friends, like various parties. Dennis's best friend's girlfriend, she throws a lot of parties. So I've worn a lot of these perfumes to various parties of hers. But this one, to me, is the more refined, rich, sexier version of the C and the old C Intense. Like, this is my favorite. Oh my God. I'm thinking it's, I don't know. I can't decide between these three. And then I told you guys I have something coming, but I can't decide because these all have something different. Like, I find Athalia to be a little bit more grown up, a little bit more like I'm turning 40, but I still got it. Tom Ford's Noir is sexy, sweet, but this one's intoxicating and boozy. This is like, I'm turning 40, but I still know how to party. Yeah, that's what this one is. So it's gonna be a tough one. Again, I'm gonna test these three out this week, and then the one that's coming, and hopefully I'll have my birthday scent picked out. Hey guys, Editing Becky here. About to go out with my girl Takara and MJ. Super excited. But I wanted to pop in here real quick because I did get my fragrance that you guys had recommended to me, and that is Inicio's Atomic Rose. So I did pick this up from Max Aroma. I got an 8 ml and I tested it out already a day. As soon as I got it, I made sure I didn't wear anything that day, and I put this on, and I can tell you this is another perfume that is amazing for an event. I had said I wanted to get into more samples from the house of Inicio, and several of you guys had mentioned Atomic Rose, and you mentioned that it's like Delina on steroids, or it smells very similar. So I went on Fragrantica. There were several reviews where people said that it smelled very similar. There were also people who said that they don't like Delina and prefer Atomic Rose, so they didn't get the comparison. I do get the comparison. This does smell a lot like Delina, but I would say it almost smells like what I wanted Delina Exclusive to smell like. When people describe Exclusive, this is what I smell. Now, Exclusive on me, unfortunately, comes off very baby powder. I pull a very powdery note, but it's not like musk or iris. It's like a very baby powder kind of scent. This is like vanilla, and it's got like a creaminess. It's a little smoother than Delina. It's not as tart or green. So I can see why some people prefer this over Delina, because it doesn't have the rhubarb or the incense or the nutmeg that people tend to be bothered by. I also saw people compare this to Roses Vanille by Mancera. I do feel like the vanilla in here is probably warm, like the vanilla in Gentle Fluidity Gold, which I know that kind of vibes like Roses Vanille and like Intense Cafe. But Gentle Fluidity Gold to me dries down to a more vanilla kind of scent. So I kind of maybe get that comparison a little bit, but this to me is definitely more Delina vibes. Again, it doesn't smell exactly. I can see why people would own both, or maybe would prefer one over the other. I do really love the incense, the green notes in Delina, but this is more like vanilla and a little bit more creamy. So definitely one that I'm probably going to wear because it performs really well. It projects. It's one that is going to be likable and mass appealing. I don't know if it's full bottle worthy because it is very similar. Definitely one I'm considering, just because I get kind of the same vibe, kind of what I wanted Exclusive to be, kind of creamy. And again, that is Inicio's Atomic Rose. So let's go ahead and get back into the video. But yeah, guys, those are perfumes that I would pick for various events. My list could always be longer. I have a lot of fragrances that I've worn out, but these are ones that, again, the performance is good. They're a little bit more mass appealing. I've received compliments on a lot of these, and they're just, to me, good fragrances for various kind of occasions. But let me know in the comments below, what are some of your go-to kind of party fragrances? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.